Decluttering Workshop Week, yay! Today we're going to talk all about how to prepare for the decluttering workshop that we're doing this week and how to make it the most successful decluttering experience possible. So let's get started. So you might be wondering, what is a decluttering workshop? Basically, we're going to be spending a week together working on decluttering a space in our homes, okay? So I've been talking about this workshop for the last month in the Declutterathon group on Facebook and a little bit in my newsletter. So hopefully you've seen some of that and you're, excited and ready to jump in. But before we get started, we really want to take some time to prepare for the week to make it the best possible experience. Have you ever heard that saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail? Yeah, we don't want that to happen here. I want this to be the most successful decluttering week possible. So today, the very first day, is all about getting ready for the week. Now, if you're new to my channel, I am Emily. Hi, nice to meet you. And I am not a born organized person. I wish I was. I wish that was the case. It just is not in the cards for me. It seems I grew up in kind of a cluttered, messy house, and I really saw it in all of the homes I went to on a regular basis. I saw it in my friends' homes. I saw it in family members' homes. So I just kind of grew up thinking like a cluttered home was normal, right? The clutter followed me from my childhood home into my college dorm and then my first apartment, and now I am firmly in adulthood and still living in a cluttered house. And I will tell you that nothing makes me want to get organized and declutter more than the idea of being able to keep my kids from kind of continuing the same pattern. So that's my big motivation and reason for wanting to declutter. The good news is that over the last couple years, I've had a lot of insights and breakthroughs personally that have kind of turned me from being someone who struggles to get rid of clutter into kind of like this ruthless decluttering machine. Okay, so my husband has never had a problem getting rid of anything. Like, nothing is sacred as far as he is concerned. He will just, like, everything can go practically as far as he's concerned, which has been a great help sometimes. He's encouraged me to, maybe let things go that we really don't need to keep. But it's been funny over the last year, we've kind of had a role reversal. He hasn't gotten to the way I was, where I kind of wanted to keep everything or could come up with a reason to keep everything. But he definitely has had a few instances of where I'm just kind of on this decluttering rampage, and he's like, are you sure we want to get rid of that? And should we maybe keep this? And he's almost like kind of trying to get things out of my path. So it's been a good kind of shocking change that I've gone from struggling so much and wanting to keep everything to now really being able to let so much go. And I'm hoping over the next week to share some of those insights and breakthroughs with you so that you can have the same experiences in your own home. That being said, my home is far from decluttered. So I guess the good news is I've had the breakthroughs. The bad news is the work isn't done yet. But even that is kind of good news because now we get to do it together. So the first thing we want to do to prepare is to gather all of our supplies. Okay, so when we are decluttering our spaces, we're going to divide things into 5 piles. And those piles are trash, recycle, donate, keep, and then what I call other room. So other room basically means stuff that you want to keep but does not belong in the space you are currently working on. I don't know about you, but if you've ever tried to declutter and organize a space and you are finding things that don't belong in the room that you are in, running them all over the house is kind of a recipe for disaster, right? It just increases the likelihood that you'll get distracted. There have been so many times I'll be working in my bedroom and I'll find like a cup that needs to go to the kitchen. So then instead of just making a pile of this is stuff that goes to another room, I'll take it to the kitchen and then I get distracted by mail and then I start paying bills and then my kids ask me a question, and then, you know, someone needs help upstairs in a bedroom, and then the next thing I know, I've lost like 45 minutes and I'm like, what was I even doing? Well, oh yeah, I was working on my bedroom. And then I wander back in there and I don't see any progress because I wasn't in there. So instead of kind of doing this clutter shuffle all over the house and running from one room to another, just make a pile for stuff that needs to go to another room. For my other room pile, I like to use things like maybe like a laundry basket or a box I have sitting around, and I can pick everything that does not belong in that room up at once and get it out. I like to put all my donate stuff in a black bag because once it's in there, I can't see through the bag and second guess myself. Whereas with white bags, it's easier to see through the bag and then start second guessing, especially if it's something that you were kind of struggling to put in the bag in the first place. It's just nice to, once it's in the bag, to not be reminded of what you've decided to donate. Another great thing to do with all these different categories, since you'll have 5 going on, is to use signs. So I have created free printable signs that you can get. I'll put the link in the description below. It's in the blog post. And they are for those 5 categories we talked about. If you're doing it on your own, you know, maybe you don't need the signs, or you can kind of keep track of what's where. But it's especially helpful when you're decluttering with other people, because then you don't have to constantly remind people, no, 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 that's the trash pile, or no, 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 that's donate, don't put that there, you know, whatever it is. Keeping those 5 piles labeled just helps to keep everyone on the same page if someone is helping you with the decluttering process. The second step in our prep day is looking at your schedule. We want to figure out when we're going to be working this decluttering into our days. I don't know about you, but I have on more than one occasion had like huge plans for the week and all these things I'm gonna do, and then the week ends and I'm like, I didn't accomplish any of my goals. Well, the key, for me anyway, is to put it on my daily plan. I can find the gaps of time that are open, and then I can schedule in, okay, I'm gonna do 30 minutes of decluttering here, or I can, you know, do my meal prep here, or whatever it is. I can schedule in the activities that I need to get done. And then by the time the end of the week rolls around, I can actually like pat myself on the back for getting stuff done. It's amazing the difference in how much we can achieve when we actually schedule it and plan for it, as opposed to just thinking that it will magically happen in our downtime. Step 3 for a successful declutterathon workshop is planning ahead. So what are the things that can either derail your progress this week, or the things that are like first to fall off your to-do list if you're focused on something else? So I know for myself, I usually, if I become hyper focused on either work or decluttering or something, some type of project, the first thing to fall off my to-do list is usually cooking. It's so much easier for me to grab some type of convenience food, even if it's not like good for me. I know it's terrible. Than it is to like go to the kitchen and cook whatever dinner I had planned. I'm pretty good about meal planning. Sometimes following through on the meal planning doesn't always happen. So as much as you can, I would recommend finding whatever that is for you and scheduling that into your time as well, or figuring out a way to work around it. I did include, just in case meal planning is kind of your thing too, like something that tends to fall off the radar or you could use a little help with, I did include a free meal planning printable in the post as well. So I'll link to that too, so you can grab a copy. So that's it. That's the end of day 1. Hopefully you are feeling excited and not overwhelmed. The things that we do and focus on today are really gonna lay a foundation of like strength and success for the coming week. I will be back tomorrow for day 2 of the decluttering workshop. So good luck with all the prep work, and I'll see you tomorrow.